His earliest major businesses involved women.
Wow, bro. Bro looks so like look, I'm not homophobic. I'm not that, but he looks so like these guys try to be so masculine, but in reality he's just a feminine guy. Like I just feel like this is not real, bruh. Like why is he sitting down like this, bruh? Andrew Tate's arrest is worse than you think. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Andrew Tate, he basically got arrested. Apparently, he got he was messing with them, you know what I'm saying? He's a rape. He's an apist. Apist. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's you know what I mean? Like, apparently he got, got some crazy charges. You know what I'm saying? No surprise, this guy is a dirty scumbag doing dirty scumbag shit. So, why are we so surprised about this nigga getting arrested? Didn't he already get arrested and put in jail for like 6 months or some shit like that, bruh?
Now, on Saturday, July 18, Andrew Tate was arrested in Miami by the U.S. Marshals Service as British authorities moved to have him extradited to the United Kingdom. But this was not simply another temporary arrest. According to the Crown Prosecution Service, the government agency responsible for bringing criminal cases in England and Wales, Tate now faces 42 charges in the UK, 32 of them newly authorized, and the allegations against him have become significantly more serious. Now, I'm sure most people are familiar with the name Andrew Tate. Tate exploded across the internet a few years.
If you support this nigga, you are a cringe bag, bro. You're a cringe bag, bro. Not gonna cap.
By promoting an unapologetically hyper-masculine lifestyle built around money, discipline, status,
scams,
and male dominance. Some people viewed his message as motivation for young men who felt lost or ignored, while others criticized him for repeatedly making degrading and inflammatory statements about women. Either way, his influence became impossible to ignore. Millions of young men began watching his content, repeating his phrases, and treating him as a voice for a generation that felt mainstream culture had abandoned them. But Andrew Tate is also no stranger to legal trouble. In December 2022, he and his brother, Tristan, were arrested in
they got put in jail for like 6 months or some shit like that, right? You know what I mean?
Romania, during an investigation involving allegations of human trafficking, rape, and operating an organized criminal group. They were later formally charged, spent time in detention, and house arrest.
Bruh, why does they could do that shit, bruh? Go back, bruh. Look at him, bruh. Sorry, get the fuck off my screen.
Organized criminal group.
Sorry, my bad. Look, why are he doing this? Why he doing this? What the fuck is this, bruh? What you gain from doing that? What's this? Look at him. What are we doing?
Formally charged, spent time in detention and house arrest, and have consistently denied the allegations against him. Now, this recent arrest is particularly interesting because, like we said, this is not the first time Andrew Tate has found himself in custody. The difference is that this arrest happened in Miami, involved U.S. Marshals, and is connected to an effort by British authorities to extradite him to the United Kingdom, where the number of charges he faces...
Get him out of the U.S., bro. You don't need to be here, my nigga. Get him out of here, bro. You don't need to be in the U.S. Kick this nigga out the country, bro. We don't need you here, bro. Go back to where you came from, bro. We don't want your ass over here, bro.
Increased dramatically. So let's look at the specifics of what is really going on here. On Saturday, July 18, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested in Miami by the U.S. Marshals Service. The brothers, who hold both American and British citizenship, were taken into custody under a sealed federal warrant as part of extradition proceedings initiated by the United Kingdom. And because the warrant was sealed, American authorities did not initially release the full court documents or publicly explain the details of the arrest. The Crown Prosecution Service later confirmed that the brothers had been arrested in the United States and were awaiting extradition proceedings. According to media reports, Andrew was expected to appear at a boxing event around the time he was taken into custody. Instead, both brothers now face a federal court process that will determine whether they can be surrendered to the British authorities. This is important because they were not arrested over allegations that they committed a new crime in Miami. The U.S. Marshals detained them because Britain, the UK, is seeking their extradition over criminal charges connected to alleged conduct in England.
Okay.
And British prosecutors say they...
Of course, this is all alleged. I mean, we don't know if this is true. You know what I'm saying? Don't like this nigga, though. I'm going to keep it being I don't like him. So, you know what I mean?
Have authorized 38 additional charges against...
Holy shit. 32 new charges, 7 counts of... and then trafficking related counts, assault counts, charges, 19 charges. relating to indecent images of a child and extreme. Okay. Previous UK charges, total UK charges 40 fucking 2. Total 17 for his brother.
The brothers, after receiving a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire police. Andrew Tate alone faces 32 of those new charges, 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 charges related to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. Those are in addition to the 10 UK charges previously authorized against Andrew Tate, bringing his total to 42 charges. Tristan faces 6 additional charges on top of 11 previously authorized charges, bringing his individual total to 17. Combined, the brothers now face 59 UK charges involving 7 alleged victims.
Holy shit!
The alleged offenses are said to have occurred between July 2010 and August 2017. And just to be abundant,
They probably happened, bruh. It probably happened. Unless you give it a bean. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas is cooked, bruh. Y'all going straight to prison, bruh. Y'all ain't never gonna come out, and I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for you.
Really clear, these are allegations. They haven't been found guilty. Now, the Crown Prosecution Service itself has emphasized that its role is to determine whether charges should be presented to a criminal court, while guilt or innocence can only be decided through the actual court process. Both Andrew and his brother Tristan deny wrongdoing. Their American attorney, Joseph McBride, has argued that the case is politically motivated and claimed that the latest charges were designed to undermine defamation lawsuits the brothers filed in the United States. He said the defense expects the brothers to be released once a judge reviews the evidence and legitimacy of the extradition request. Now, the UK attempting to extradite them is not...
You can't trust these billionaires, man, bruh. Y'all billionaires. Y'all freaked out, bruh. Like, none of y'all.
British authorities obtained European arrest warrants for Andrew and Tristan in 2024. A Romanian court later ruled that they could eventually be extradited to Britain, but only after the separate Romanian proceedings against them were completed. And that distinction is important. The Romanian and British cases involve separate allegations, different alleged victims, and different legal systems. They are not one combined prosecution. However, the legal restrictions in Romania previously affected when Britain could physically obtain custody of the brothers. Now that Andrew and Tristan are in the United States, the UK is attempting to bring them back through the American extradition system instead. So in simple terms, the British authorities are saying that further evidence has expanded the case significantly. What previously involved 21 combined charges and 3 alleged victims has now grown to 59 combined charges involving 7 alleged victims.
Holy!
But the Miami arrest does not automatically mean the brothers will be sent to England, and the American judge will not be deciding whether they are guilty of the underlying allegations. The U.S. proceedings are primarily about whether Britain's request satisfies American law and the extradition treaty between the two countries. If a federal court certifies that the brothers are eligible for extradition, the final decision on whether to surrender them would move to the U.S. Secretary of State. So, Andrew Tate and his brother are in a whole lot of shit. Now, the most interesting thing about this particular arrest is that Andrew has spent much of the past year presenting himself as increasingly free and confident that the cases against him were beginning to fall apart. After their international travel restriction was lifted, Andrew Tate and Tristan were able to travel to the United States and other locations while still remaining subject to ongoing legal proceedings in Romania. To many of his supporters, that created the impression that he had survived the worst of his legal problems and that the cases were gradually collapsing. However, this particular situation introduces something much more serious: a formal attempt by one country to force another country to surrender him for prosecution. Extradition is not simply a police department asking Andrew Tate to voluntarily return to England. It is a legal process in which the British government must persuade the American courts that its request satisfies the requirements of the extradition treaty between the two countries. At the time of recording this,
these niggas were not expecting for these motherfuckers to pull up. Look at this nigga.
Of the extradition
Look at him. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck? I thought I got away with all my crimes, bro. What the fuck is this, bro? What the fuck is this? What the fuck? What are we doing?
Two countries.
He's like, what the fuck?
Andrew and Tristan have not been extradited. Their arrest begins that process. It does not determine its outcome, and an American court will examine whether the request is legally sufficient, and any eventual surrender would still require additional steps through the United States government. But
I do not like this nigga, bruh.
if they are eventually extradited, they could be transported to England and required to face the criminal proceedings attached to all these charges. That would place Andrew in a much more restrictive position than simply moving around the United States while publicly denying the allegations. Now, a large part of Andrew Tate's audience believes that these allegations are politically motivated. So the general argument from his supporters is that Andrew Tate became too influential, encouraged young men to reject mainstream culture, and was therefore targeted by governments and powerful institutions that wanted to silence him. And that belief is closely connected to the way Andrew has branded himself throughout his
This nigga literally does crypto scams like every day, bro. What are we talking about, bro?
rise. For anyone who has heard Andrew Tate speak, Andrew has positioned himself as someone standing outside and fighting against what he calls the Matrix. And he uses that phrase to describe a system of governments, media organizations, corporations, and cultural institutions that he claims manipulate ordinary people and punish individuals who become too independent or too influential. So from Andrew's perspective, every new investigation, arrest, or attempt to restrict his movement becomes further evidence that the system is trying to destroy him. And his American attorney has continued that framing, describing the latest British charges as politically motivated and arguing,
I don't think it's politically motivated, bro. If they have over 59 charges of you doing SA, bro. You know what I'm saying? And rape and that kind of shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something deeper than this than just politically motivated, gang. I'm sorry, bro.
that American authorities should not assist Britain with what the defense considers an abusive prosecution, and that attorney says the brothers are innocent and expects them to be released once a judge examines the extradition request. And this is where it's important to separate his interpretation of events from what has actually been established. It is completely fair to report that Andrew Tate and his legal team believe he is being politically persecuted. That's their side,
I don't
right?
think so.
And it's also fair to explain why his audience finds that argument believable. But
yeah, it like from his audience perspective, it sounds believable, but in reality, these people, they're just pieces of shit, gang. It's just that simple.
Does not by itself prove that the charges were manufactured or that multiple governments are coordinating to silence him. On the other side, the existence of 42 charges does not prove that Andrew Tate committed them either, because these are allegations at this point, right? And the British authorities, of course, have specifically emphasized that authorizing charges is not a finding of guilt. That can, of course, only be determined by a court after the evidence and defense are heard. So from his side, Andrew Tate sees this as another chapter in a political campaign against him. From the prosecution side, the British authorities say they received additional evidence involving 4 more alleged victims, expanded the case accordingly, and are now attempting to bring him before a British court. Those two narratives are going to collide directly during the extradition process. But personally, I believe some of what Andrew Tate describes as the Matrix attacking him may instead be reality catching up with a man who spent years.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. This dude is a scammer, bro. There's nothing good about this guy, bro. He's a grifter. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a billionaire, gang. He was trying to protect Dubai, and shit. Like the nigga is a weirdo, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like this guy has probably been doing heinous shit behind the scenes for a decade, if not more. Like these, and it's not just him. It's like these, I don't know. It's just these billionaires. They're just freaked out, gang. They're just freaked the fuck out. They're allegedly, they're sex traffickers. Allegedly, they're SA. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like that kind of shit, bro. They've been like this, bro.
Extremely questionable behavior. Now, that is my personal interpretation, and it does not prove any of the criminal charges against him. Now, for anyone who's not really familiar with how Andrew originally claimed to have made a significant portion of his money, one of his earliest major businesses involved women.
Wow, bro. Bro looks so I'm not homophobic. I'm not that, but he looks so like these guys try to be so masculine, but in reality, he's just a feminine guy. Like I just feel like this is not real, bruh. Like why is he sitting down like this, bruh? Like what the fuck is going on with my mouse? Where is it? Okay. Look how he's sitting down. He's sitting down with his ass tooted up, bruh. His ass is literally tooted up, gang. And he's wearing American flag. Fucking, yeah.
Performing on adult webcam websites. So according to Andrew Tate's own accounts, he and his brother recruited women to appear on camera while the brothers managed the business behind the scenes. Tate has
Now we're getting to the meat of the shit,
repeatedly
bruh.
portrayed the operation as extremely profitable, although many of his claims about its size and earnings have never been independently verified. The numbers that he said, I believe it was around 600,000 that he claimed that he made a month from this business.
600,000 a month?
Those numbers have never really been independently verified, so we don't really know if it's true. Now, reporting from people familiar with Romania's webcam industry has questioned whether the operation was ever as large or profitable as Andrew Tate himself claimed. But what makes this relevant is not simply that Andrew Tate operated an adult webcam business. It is the way he publicly bragged about running it.
So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. Some staff I trained would do all the talking.
Now, in the
What the fuck?
interview clip I just played you, Andrew Tate was explaining that the women appearing on camera were not always the people typing messages to the customers. He claimed that he and Tristan, his brother, and members of their staff would communicate with the men while pretending to be the women on screen. And according to Andrew Tate himself,
Yo, these people, Andrew Tate, bruh. You orchestrating this shit, bruh? You the one telling the niggas what to type down this shit, bruh? You know, I thought you was supposed to be masculine, bruh. What's going on? You talking to the homies, bruh? What you
they
doing?
would disconnect the women's keyboards and control the conversation from behind the screen. The women would provide the visual performance, while the men running the business constructed romantic stories designed to keep customers emotionally invested and spending money.
Getting men to spend money. Yo, Andrew Tate and these writers, bruh. Y'all really good at hooking men, huh? Y'all really good at keeping these men hooked, huh?
Really describe telling different customers whatever they
I'm not homophobic or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
most
It's
wanted
all
to hear.
good.
Now, in Andrew Tate's own words, the entire strategy was to sell the dream.
Sell the dream, sell the dream, sell the dream. We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models. Serious, big time
Sounds like an American politician. You know, sell the American dream.
love. Sending crazy money.
He claimed that some customers became convinced that they were in genuine relationships with these models. And Tate himself, he described men spending their entire savings, taking out loans, and in at least one alleged case, sending approximately $1 million. Again, those specific financial amounts are...
You know what's funny? There's probably a guy out there that has sent out that much money to like a OnlyFans. Like, let's keep it a beam, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, bro. These OnlyFans models, bruh, they be having some crazy fucking donors. You know, just saying. Right? They gotta be giving up millions, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Out of their pocket.
Tate's own claims and have not been independently confirmed.
True.
He then described creating
But I feel like with the type of guy this nigga is, bro, he's probably not fucking lying, bro.
excuses whenever customers asked
My
to
bad.
meet the women in person. And according to Tate, some men were told that the women needed money for visa, flights, accommodation, or proof of funds before she could travel.
I need a visa. Okay, get a visa. I need money for a visa. Go to the embassy, take a picture outside the embassy, boom, come back. They rejected my visa. They said we have to wait 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they'll give it to me.
After receiving the money, the supposed meeting would repeatedly be
Nah, if you fell for this shit, bro, you're dumb as fuck, bro.
delayed or canceled.
You're
Andrew
dumb
Tate
as
even
fuck.
explained how his team would intentionally provoke customers into becoming angry, then use that anger as a reason for the women to cut contact. After enough time had passed, he claimed the customers would often
Andrew Tate really know how to get these people, get these guys really turned on and really fucking angry.
return,
You know what I'm saying?
apologize,
I'm
and
just
begin
saying, bro.
spending money again. So this is not me speculating. This is what Andrew Tate himself said on camera, and he laughed, boasting about the methods he claimed were used to extract money from emotionally vulnerable men. Now, it's very important for me to not make an inaccurate legal connection here. Andrew Tate's comments about the webcam operation that I'm telling you about do not automatically prove any of the rape, trafficking, or assault allegations he currently faces. The criminal charges must be decided according to the specific evidence in those cases. And Tate, of course, denies all wrongdoing. But these clips of Andrew Tate speaking about this, they do give important context, and they definitely go against what Andrew Tate himself.
It really just shows that how stupid these fucking people are, bro. Like Andrew Tate, his brother, these billionaires, they're really just fucking stupid. Like, y'all really just be self-snitching on yourselves, bro. And then you be like, no, I never did that, when you get fucking caught up, bro.
And his supporters say, as far as every negative claim about him being invented by the media or created entirely because of his political influence.
It
or
wasn't
supposed
created.
Political influence, because I don't really know that. Does Andrew Tate have political influence? I don't really know, because I don't know enough about him. I'll just say supposed or alleged political influence. So long before these latest charges were
I don't think he really talked. I don't know. I don't watch Andrew Tate. I don't fucking know.
announced, Andrew Tate publicly presented himself as someone who recruited women into adult content businesses, controlled the conversations happening under their identities, and manipulated male customers into believing they had genuine romantic relationships.
Andrew Tate's really good at manipulating men. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. He just loves manipulating men.
And he appeared to be pretty proud of it. So when I say that reality may be catching up with Andrew Tate, I'm not saying that these old clips prove every criminal charge against him. I'm saying that it goes against what he says that he believes in. Or what
I feel like a lot of these charges are real, bro. Like, they're real charges with real evidence, bro. Get these niggas out of here, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a bean.
Told a lot of these men who follow him that he believes in. Now, one thing Andrew Tate is extremely good at is he's really good at controlling the way people interpret what happens to him. He knows how to position himself as the man who saw everything coming, the man who challenged the system, became too powerful, and is now being punished for exposing the truth. So whenever something happens to Andrew Tate, whether it's an arrest, a restriction, or another investigation, it can immediately be folded into the same story. The Matrix is attacking him because it is afraid of him. And for many of the young men who follow him, that explanation has become almost impossible to challenge. They do not simply view Andrew as an entertainer or internet personality. They see him as somebody who gave them confidence, motivated them to improve their lives, and said things they felt nobody else was willing to say. You have to keep in mind that a lot of these men that Andrew Tate speaks to, they feel as if though he's the only person who's speaking for them. That's how they feel.
And that's not true. There's so many other people out there that are way more authentic, way more honest. They don't have they don't even have a quarter of a percentage of the money that the niggas have, that nigga has, and they are way better, bigger, and better as a man than that nigga will ever fucking be, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just letting you know that you don't need to be a billionaire to be fucking to be this cool fucking guy, bro. You don't.
Right or wrong, that's how they personally feel about him. And that emotional connection is exactly why so many of them are prepared to defend him before they've even examined the evidence. And the sad part is, I think a lot of these young men have been led astray. Because here's the thing, Andrew Tate can tell a young man to work hard, become disciplined, get in shape, and stop making excuses. And that's, objectively speaking, that's a good message, right? But when that same audience may begin believing that because some of his advice helped him, every allegation against him must automatically be false. And those are two completely different things. A person can say something motivational and still behave terribly in other areas of their life. A person can correctly identify problems affecting people, in this case, young men, and still use those problems to build loyalty around himself in order to shield himself from consequences. And somebody helping you in one way does not mean you should abandon your ability to question them.
To think. Gang, think for yourself, bruh. This is a guy who does crypto scams every fucking day, bro. He's been doing crypto scams, gang. He's been scamming y'all, bro. He don't give a fuck about you, bro. You know, he don't care, bro.
This is where I believe Andrew Tate has been most effective, because he didn't just build an audience. He built an entire framework where supporting him feels like supporting yourself, while questioning him feels like siding with the people who supposedly want young men to remain weak.
Let's say Andrew Tate is this good guy and he gives all these great messages. At the end of the day, if he does some heinous shit, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter.
But eventually,
it doesn't matter.
protect you for so long. I
Right.
think this arrest could become extremely serious for him because it demonstrates how fragile his freedom actually is. For a while, Andrew Tate has been able to travel, make public appearances, and present himself as somebody who had effectively survived these cases. But now it looks like things are changing for him. So at this point, the question is no longer simply whether Andrew Tate walks out of custody this week. The bigger question is how long can he continue moving around the world as though none of these cases can truly hurt him. Now, Andrew obviously has access to a significant amount of money that allows him to hire experienced attorneys, challenge decisions, file appeals, and fight these cases for far longer than the average person ever could. But money does not make legal problems disappear. It can buy time, it can buy representation, it can give somebody more options, but when you're facing separate proceedings across multiple countries,
you're fucked. He's basically fucked. Like, that's what this is. Like, this nigga Andrew Tate, he's literally fucked, bruh. You're fucked, bro. They're gonna get you on something, gang. And to be honest, bro, I feel like a lot of these charges, I think they have evidence behind it, bro. I think they truly have evidence. I feel like this nigga Andrew Tate is a weirdo. I do think so. I don't like Andrew Tate, never did, okay? I do think this nigga is a weirdo. I feel like he has always been doing heinous shit for years. He's a scammer. He's a grifter. This guy talks about American politics when he doesn't even live in the same fucking country as us, nigga. What are we talking about?
Dozens of charges. Eventually, the legal pressure
Nigga lives in Romania. The fuck are we talking about?
begins to accumulate, and that might be the real danger for Andrew Tate. Andrew spent years convincing the world that he is always in control. But this latest arrest is another reminder that regardless of how confidently he speaks online, he does not control what the American courts decide, what British prosecutors pursue, or how the separate cases surrounding him ultimately unfold. But that is just my personal opinion. What do you guys think? If you made it this far, drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new here. My name is Blackie Speaks.
I think bro cooked right there, bro. You know what I mean? Right? I would just say this, right? Like, I don't like him. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these are true. These are, of course, alleged, and people are innocent till proven guilty. As much as I hate this nigga, but, you know, at the end of the day, I hope we have the evidence. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the Matrix attacking him. I don't think it's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think when he says shit like that, it's a cop out. It's like cop out. It's him trying to find like a way to defend himself. He probably did do all that shit though. You know what I'm saying? The fact that like they have proof of shit that he's done years ago, you're cooked, bro. Like, he's not coming out of this, bro. In my opinion, he was able to get out of it the last time. Not this time, bro. Not this time, bro. And you're a billionaire, so yeah, that makes it a lot harder for you. You know what I'm saying? Billionaire's reputation is not that great today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, bro, it's a matter of time, bro. You can only get away with so much shit until that shit catches up to you. You know what I mean? But I hope you guys have a good breakfast, a good dinner, a good night. You know what I mean? I hope. You know, if he did commit these crimes, I hope he gets the justice that he deserves and goes to prison. When this nigga is gone, I will not feel sorry for you, bruh. I love y'all, man. Peace.